in building a company that we still see being here in a decade from now, miles from what everybody else in the industry that we're operating in is doing. By being an outlier, we therefore play by outlier rules. By being an exception, we play by exceptional rules for exceptional results, which means that one of the rules that we can break that nobody else can is that we can play with different types of leverage. One of the biggest pieces of leverage that we play with is history. History is the greatest form of leverage, learning from other people's mistakes before you need to make them yourself, which is why our philosophy of solving for outcomes instead of problems is pretty controversial in our opinion, just within our own kind of minds within the business, as it goes and directly contradicts what most other business people say, which is that businesses are just effective problem solving machines. Problems are just opportunities and workflows by David Senra and Henry Kaiser, and so many other different philosophies and maxims that are repeated throughout history, which we directly go against by holding the philosophy that we should be solving for outcomes instead of solving problems, where solving for outcomes is therefore the best way to solve for problems. That's what I'm going to be getting into here today. Again, my name is Colin Pettit. I'm COO of the A Players Club. My job is basically to lead strategy with James and then also lead day-to-day execution of communication, strategy, team, systems, all that, running the business on a day-to-day. We just crossed $250,000 month in dollars last month, which is amazing, of total revenue, and we're aiming for much higher, and again, to be here still in a decade from now. So just going back to solving for outcomes. Most people try solving problems without knowing why there are problems in the first place. When you build a business, you're obviously building it for the hope that things won't break so that you can have better certainty in making money and progressing in your business. Again, if you're more so like short term, it's just money. Progressing a business and delivering a more exceptional customer experience should be the goal outcome. But you're not building your business with the intention of having problems pop up, if you know what I'm saying, which is directly correlated to when things do fail, when problems inevitably happen in your business, where you should be moving fast and breaking shit all the time, but it just should be the right shit. For most people, when they see a problem pop up and something not go to plan, they immediately just say, oh shit, how do I solve this problem? Oh shit, they go into panic mode. They start acting immediately without first stepping back, analyzing, and zooming out. Again, another thing that we do very commonly, given the type of business that we're building, is just zooming out. Most people try solving problems without knowing the outcome they actually want. They just start fixing. Fixing for the purpose of what, though, they don't know. They just want to fix. They just want the stress of, oh my God, my money printing machine is failing. They just want to fix it. That means you're failing forward. You're failing with uncertainty. In a game where business is literally, you pay other businesses for certainty. You pay, any person going to the doctor pays the doctor for certainty that they will have the solution to their sickness. No matter what way you look at it, no matter what transaction you analyze, people pay for certainty. So in a game where you're building a business, which is a transfer of certainty in exchange for currency, how does it make sense to fail forward where you're failing with uncertainty? How are you operating with uncertainty in a vehicle that delivers certainty or is supposed to? Most people pay for certainty, and the businesses that are there for a long time solve problems in a way that provides certainty internally, which therefore springs to external, which is the same thing that we do. Same thing that Four Seasons does. They deliver an exceptional experience. That's all they're focused on. That's all they're certain that they can do. Four Seasons, Nobu, A Players Club. We all solve from outcomes first. We minimize the likelihood of failure by optimizing failure to data, because we solve for outcomes. We know what we're aiming towards. So when we fail, it's data rather than carelessness. We're crystal clear on the outcome that we want when something does not work. We outline the outcome that we want. We go to the source. Elon Musk does this all the time. He will literally jump in his private jet, fly directly to the source of a problem, outline it. What is the specific issue that we're dealing with? Work backwards, cutting all the fluff. What are the exact steps needed to solve this? Then he's no longer failing forward with uncertainty. He's walking along a path, failing forward with certainty, because he knows any failures are literally just things and warning signs that he's going off track regards to getting to the track and the outcome that he has clearly aligned. So he just needs to get a little bit back on track. Rather than if you fail once, it could be a small branch off in the tree if you're failing towards an unknown outcome. If you keep on failing in that manner, then you're going so off track that when you finally fix it, you're going to have a whole different solution to the problem that might not even be relevant. Then you just got to backtrack and go back and try to fix it. You're basically shooting arrows while you're blind. It doesn't make sense. You're Stevie Wonder trying to you're trying to talk colors. It doesn't make sense. You go to the source. You work backwards, creating predictable or replicatable systems for success by going to the source additionally is also a benefit, because if you go to a source and you know with certainty why each step of the process towards fixing a problem within your business worked, because you have outlined the outcome that you're working towards, you can therefore use that and the problem solving mechanism that you discovered in getting to that outcome again and solving the problem in the first place. You can use that as a system moving forward for if the same problem ever does come up, because it was planned. It wasn't guessing. It wasn't luck. It was a system. Instead of solving for symptoms, we solve for outcomes. Time is leverage. This is just a cool drawing. Elon Musk flew to his problems at Tesla. We're not a private jet money yet. We don't have physical locations yet. We're not producing physical products yet, but we still carry the same outcomes or the same practices. You know what I mean? So again, how do we actually do this? We first go pen to paper. What is the actual problem? Not what is the symptom of the problem, which could be, as an example, close rate drops. So you assume that it's your closer. You're like, closer, start doing your job. But when you actually go to the source, instead of tackling the closer, nailing down on them, being like, bro, why are you not closing these leads? What's going on? And just saying it to him. You're not leading him. You're not helping him. You're just saying words at his face without any actions. It's not specific, so he won't execute because he hasn't been taught. Rather than just saying that to the closer, instead you go to the source. What is the root problem? Always asking why. Like it's playing Socratic dialogue within your business. Close rate dropped. Okay, why? Did the closer have any changing variables that would influence his close rate that were out of his control? First, you analyze the ones that are out of his control. If there are any, okay, maybe that's actually the problem. If there's none out of his control or any that's in his control, then you analyze those. If it's in his control, it's probably going to be the close rate thing. If it's out of his control, for example, with this example here, close rate drops, so you assume it's the close. But if you actually go to source, you'll see that the root cause was that close rate drops, which was an indicator that there was just bad lead quality, which you discover. Bad leads, that's an indicator that there was low quality ads or paid marketing or whatever the channel to acquire those leads could have been low quality. That might be an indicator for bad creatives, which means there's poor media buyer feedback to the creative team in producing creatives. There's so many layers that you can go. And this is just like one example of the branch philosophy I was talking about earlier. If you're solving not knowing the precise causing variable that is leading to the problem and solving for that downwards, working backwards from that, then you could just go ahead and solve the completely wrong thing. And it's just a waste of time. And in a game where in business, time is your most valuable asset and your highest form of leverage, you do not want to be wasting your time. Get a pen, get a piece of paper, do it exactly how we do inside the Apex company. What is the problem? Not what are the indicators, what are the symptoms? Go as many layers deep as you need until you can't find any more possible influences and you know the direct source of all the problems. What is the ideal outcome? When fixed, what would change from the problem you're currently getting to the ideal outcome that would therefore be deemed as a solution? What needs to happen to achieve that ideal outcome? What are the exact steps in order? Here, tip of the spear order, I'll get into that in a second. What are the exact steps that need to occur to achieve this outcome with certainty? Cut everything else. Cut out all the fluff and just follow those steps. This is your path. This is the steps you take without going off the tranche or going off the track and without making tree branches. Tip of the spear. This is for what needs to happen. When you're outlining the steps to get to success, it's very important that you do it in tip of the spear because again, time is your most important piece of leverage. This is another philosophy from Elon Musk. Tip of the spear. is when problems are ordered and tasks are ordered in a certain way where every problem or step solved or completed has the largest possible downstream effect when list put in any order on the next set of steps. So every problem you solve ideally solves like 80% of the next problem you got to solve, 80% of the next problem. So actually, it's like very important how you actually order how you work and in which order you solve specific problems. Hopefully, this all was pretty valuable to you guys. This is like something that we have gotten more and more serious about over time, and really just like used inside the business for working with team, working through systems, working through back and working through everything. Um, if you're not solving with specificity, you're solving with hope. And in a game where you're playing to deliver certainty, how does it make sense to solve problems when you're not certain of the outcome that you're going to get? My name is Colin Pettit. Again, I'm the COO of A Players Club. I lead team, strategy, execution on the day to day. Also, build long term strategy with our founder, James. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, follow for more. Appreciate you guys. Any questions you ever have, please just hit me up personally. Links are in the description.